Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about something that is prominent in the news at this time, and it's about a person, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Um, Anaya Peterson. She's 32-year-old woman, mother of I know at least one daughter. Anyway, I don't know if she has any more children. Um, She's located in Northern Ireland. It's a place called if I'm saying this right, Belfast. And sadly what's happened to her? Okay, she had at some point in time she had tattooed her eyes, and I think one was like a vivid blue and one was purple. And what's happening is her eyesight is deteriorating as a result, and she's currently going blind. Now, she may lose her sight permanently. I don't believe that's been determined yet, but there's fear of that happening. And the thing about it is, she had been actually warned by her daughter, who I think is like 7 years old, and said she wasn't really sure about her mother doing this. And what happened, and now she is losing her sight, and she has been hospitalized, at least at some point. I don't know if she's currently in the hospital or not. But I want to offer my prayers, and by some remote chance she or any close friends or relatives of her that see this video, I want to offer some support through the video. It's sad there's a number of people making disparaging remarks online about this, and even on prominent news sources online. And it said something in the beginning, like of the article, the blog, whatever, something like hindsight is 2020. Now, it might have not meant to be malicious, but it's just not really. I mean, for me, it's just a lot of inappropriate commentary, and in puns with eyes, mocking somebody and ridiculing them, for something like this. I mean, there's no infallible person, no perfect person in this world. She obviously has made, a mistake by, tattooing her eyes, and unfortunately, it's a mistake that's obviously she's going to maybe facing very strong repercussions because of it. I want to say there was some puns I've seen, or some jokes. Again, the hindsight 2020, and then there's something just basically, just making their, whatever, jokes they can, pertaining to this. And there was something there was somebody made like a little video, and look, it appeared that the man was taking, like a lemon or something and squirting in his eyes, and he said this will help, alleviate, the problem. And I guess being, sarcastic and caustic. And the funny, it wouldn't be so funny, if somebody, else, if this happened to you. This isn't something. This is a very serious situation. I'd be to be mocking somebody and ridiculing them because of this. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you know, um, the thing is, to people. I mean, if you lose your sight, I mean, that's a very strong part of your being. And and somebody, I had asked myself this question one time. Would I rather? And I talked about it with some people. Would I rather be, if it was between being deaf or blind? I mean, naturally, I would rather, be deaf, because I mean, if you become blind, there's a lot of things you're obviously not going to be, it's going to have so much difficulty in doing, just walking across the street. Some people may constantly have to need somebody to be there by them and help them out. If you're deaf, I mean, you could still watch TV, with closed captioning. You could improvise more when you're deaf. You could still see things online, and still write, even if, correspond that way and communicate in that manner, even if you can't hear something. But the thing is, if you're, if you're blind, though, you don't even have a visual, on that. You could still, hear people, when you're communicating. But I mean, just imagine trying to, do basic things and going to the store, everyday mundane tasks. It becomes such a challenge. So, anyone out there that hears about the story, think a little bit before you're going to make, jokes about this. And, you know, and it's just, to me, it's unbelievable how, some people, take something of a very serious nature and try to turn it into a joke fest, basically. And there's times to joke and times when not to joke. It's certainly not a humorous subject, and this woman right now is probably, in a very strong state of fright and trepidation, and really is probably having a lot of difficulty, facing the, the potential or the possibility of going blind. And I'm sure doctors are working vigorously to do whatever they can to help her. But the thing is, I mean, I don't know how much ink actually got in her eyes. My understanding is it can't, at least from one source, it seemed like it can't be removed. The ink in the eyes. I don't know how long it's been there. It's if it's something indelibly, there, or what that is exactly, or in terms of, if it's permanently, if all of it is permanently there, or can they extract some of it? Those are some things you may want to confer and look up online. But and again, the fact that the daughter, did warn her, only like 7 years old, I believe, the daughter. And the mother is, again, 32 years old. She's a, law student, and and this is something now where this could really, impact, her future, maybe even her studies, in the law. If this winds up being, if it winds up being permanent blindness, that could be, something, that really is just going to impact her in so many ways. It's like, your life is essentially turned around. I could relate and empathize with this because I've had, some of you have heard my other videos, and whether it's on my YouTube astrology channel or another channel, what have you, I have extensive, at this point, irrevocable nerve damage to my arms. And, there's a lot of things I can't do anymore. I can see all right. I mean, I'm 52 years old. I know my eyesight is still good. I'm getting floaters in my eyes, but I'm still functional. But still, the damage, the nerve damage to my arms is such where I can't engage, in vigorous sports activity or do anything overly repetitive or strenuous. I'm disqualified for practically almost every job out there because of this. And my existence has been a very limited one, and that would probably be a vast understatement. Some of you may remember that, I forget, they called her like the glue girl or something, because she was putting something in her hair, some gel, and it got stuck in it, and she couldn't get it. Just kind of hardened her hair or something. I don't know if you remember that. If I'm stating this correctly, you can look that up online. And I think she may have had to cut her hair or something to get rid of it. So I mean, the thing is, I mean, we all make mistakes out there, and there's people out there that are going to make their jokes as a result of it. But I just want advise people, think a little bit before you go out there and start saying derogatory things about somebody, about something like this, and it's something of a very serious nature. And I'm trying to say this one thing, bear with me, people. I'm trying to read something on here, and I having trouble with my own writing. It just really, it's again, it's just a number of negative things out there that are being stated about this person. And as a result of it, somebody even said something like, well, whose fault is that, or whose problem is that, or something. And you have a lot of just very cold and callous people out there, and that they try to justify not having sympathy for the person because it was her own fault. Yes, technically you can say that that was her own. It was her own decision to tattoo her eyes and put the ink in them, but you know excuse me, at the same time, she obviously didn't think that, all this was going to happen as a result of this. And of course, she wouldn't have done it if she knew the repercussions and consequences that could be faced as a result of it. I think she had seen somebody else had done this, and the other person that did this had wind up, had gone blind, or at least lost some of her sight temporarily, but regained it and recovered. And maybe she thought that the same thing would happen with her, and that right now, it's getting, eyesight is gradually regressing. And I just want to, offer again, my prayers for this woman. Again, I don't know if I'm saying her first name right, and Anaya, last name is Peterson. And I just wanted to put this out there that prayers are with her. I hope she makes a recovery from this, God willing, and and this serves, a lesson, for other people out there. Anybody, few people that happen to see this video, just, think, just remember to just, maybe research things more extensively and understand, the possible ramifications as a result of, an action, and talk with, if you're doing something, to your body, and you're putting something on, there's some chemical, just maybe, go over something with it online, or make sure talk to a doctor if it's something you're unsure of, you haven't used before, for, check for possible or potential adverse reactions. And that's what I wanted to really, get with you people on. But anyway, people, this is Edwin Learnard, and until next time, stay well.